right, before we go any further, we have some breaking news just coming in. Loud bangs have been heard at a press dinner taking place at the White House. Now, what we know is attendees, including U.S. President Donald Trump, has taken cover after these shots were heard. Now, this is soon after he was evacuated from the venue by Secret Service. Now, this is a gala that has been taking place where U.S. President was in attendance, and what we know for it so far is that loud bangs have been heard at this press dinner taking place at the White House. And of course, the attendees did include U.S. President Donald Trump, who took cover when the shots were heard. And after the shots were fired, soon after he was evacuated from the venue by Secret Service. All right, we have a correspondent, Susan Tani, joining us on the broadcast. Susan, what is the latest that we know about this?
Yeah, as you mentioned, it just happened. President Trump was introduced with the First Lady about 15 minutes ago, and 5 or so minutes after he was seated, shots ranged out, pop, 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 sounded like 4 or 5. Some believe that it was inside and outside. This is just according to accounts on people that's there right now. Everyone immediately hit the floor, and Secret Service immediately took the president out, and a search of the room has now begun with thousands of people in attendance.
Right, and if you could also tell us about this gala dinner, or what was it about, and what we know about this event taking place.
So this is an annual event, the White House Correspondents Dinner. It is where politicians in Washington and the media and the press mingle. Historically, it's been a place where, despite political differences, the media and politicians do come together. President Trump, the last time he was at the event was when he was a guest during Barack Obama's presidency. And Barack Obama talked about him a lot. He did not go to the White House Correspondent Association dinner during his first term at all. And this was the first time he actually decided to go since he ever took office. And not just the first term, but second term as well. So it was a big anticipation of what he would talk about. He would be addressing the media. In a lot of instances, the presidents come, they speak with comedians, also performing, and everyone was expecting President Trump to really roast the media, for a lack of a better term. But now we see something so concerning like this happening. The fate of this event tonight is now up in the air.
Right. Of course, this also comes right after we've been having these Iran-U.S. talks, and a lot of things have been happening around this. What else do we know about, what has happened before? Right before this, he went to attend this gala dinner. We know that he made statements about this, peace proposal that Iran had given. And right after that, what we know is that this event took place where Trump was. And we have some visuals also coming in, which shows the exact moment that we heard these shots, and we see clearly the shock on the face of the U.S. president and, of course, the First Lady, who were then taking cover right under the table, where we can see the guards, their security, trying to also cover the president there. These are these shots coming in from the event. Of course, everyone taking cover there. What is Susan, if you can tell us more about what is the latest action that the security services have been taking place?
Yeah, so the Secret Service immediately evacuated the president and also his cabinet members and those who were in attendance from his administration. We're getting some reports that a man initially tried to breach security outside of the ballroom. And at that point, it appears it's not clear whether or not the man opened fire or security opened fire against that man. We're trying to verify that as of now. But there has been no news right now, not from the Secret Service, the police department, or even major news outlets here, besides the visuals that we're getting and the wires that are reporting this. Most news outlets right now are at that event, the domestic ones. So I think once we get more out of them, we'll get a better understanding about what exactly happened. But it's a very fluid situation right now. As you mentioned, it not only comes at the heels of, those talks that essentially broke down between the United States and Iran in Islamabad, which some believe would have happened during this weekend. but it also comes at a time when, there's just so much division in this country right now, and there was so much speculation about the president finally attending this dinner. There was a lot of scrutiny on it, and there was a lot of coverage that President Trump was finally going to go to the White House Correspondents' dinner, despite the fact that, he often doesn't have a favorable view of the media. So there was no secret that he was going to be there at that place and time. But, we'll have to wait and see, how this happened, how the Secret Service was handling it, and what happens now.